Now, maybe after this game.
Either this game or the next one, Ben.
Might take a couple more, though. There's just no way to know Roti.
And the spawning locations are the exact opposite of how they played against each other in the tiebreaker. EG's DeMusliM, our British Terran, spawns on the right bottom side of Antigua Shipyard. And Liquid's Red, our Dutch Zerg, spawns on the left top side of Antigua.
I want to thank you guys for sticking around with us. We know it's been a long broadcast. We started at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're still watching and you're on the East Coast, then you are a hero of esports.
If you started watching at 3 a.m. in Europe and you're still watching, then you're badass.
Gosh. And if you started watching from Australia, we don't know what time it is there.
Sorry, guys. We're never able to put that one together.
But thanks.
You guys count too. No worries. We got love for all of you. I'm sure there is someone in Australia watching. More than one.
Target.
Target's probably watching.
Of course he is.
DeMusliM opening up with a Rex on the high ground and a refinery. Red, of course, going head first as always. Once more, guys, this is potentially the final match of today. If Red wins this map, Red will be going to Toronto. He barely missed out on the Season 2 finals, and I know he was pretty sad about it back then, but he still helped the guy who knocked him out of the online players.
That's right.
To prepare for his series. Back then that was TT1.
TT1 prior to his games again. Who did he play?
TT1 played as Zerg. Maybe Sen? Yeah, it was Sen, right?
Probably. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember TT1 was practicing really hard
TT1
and
was
Sen wasn't.
Sen was taking a nap, had his feet up on the couch.
And Sen won 3-0.
Standard Sen.
Standard Sen. I'm kind of sad we don't have Sen at our finals.
He must have tried to practice for his games in the round of 16.
Yeah, against Alicia?
Yeah. He probably played 2 practice games instead of the standard one.
Instead of a warm-up game.
Warm out. He's like, oh, I'm too tired, guys.
Sounded like best of 5, so long.
That's true.
Factory going up in the main base of the DeMusliM reactor as well, so we're going to see once more the Hellion opening. If you guys haven't seen the game, these two guys played on Antigua just a few days ago. The DeMusliM went Cloak, Banshee and Reactor Hellions, and he eventually had a big run by with Hellions over here at the third, and did a lot of damage with Banshees over here in the main of Red, where he was able to pick off a lot of drones. I'm not sure if the DeMusliM is going to play the exact same way. Of course, I'm sure that both players remember those games, because it was just 2 or 3 days ago, so that has to play in the back of your head.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure it is. I mean, at this point, though, I think Red's probably gotten over it. As the games he's won convincingly, and DeMusliM seems to be having a lot of trouble adjusting to this mid-game Roach Baneling aggression that Red's been showing. That is true, but I wouldn't say Cloud Kingdom was convincingly. I think from time to time it was very close. Yes, Red was pretty far ahead after the whole Roach Baneling phase, but I think the way that DeMusliM hang in there and the way that DeMusliM defended a few times, that has to give him some confidence. Or you could say it could mentally break you, because you could feel that you're playing really well when it's still not good enough. Yeah. But I think DeMusliM can be really proud of the way that he's played so far. He is going to stick with what he's been doing. Similar opening, fast expand with Hellion play. Not a command center first. It was actually one Rex factory into expand. Yep. He got the factory before he dropped the command center. Red is going to sacrifice his overlord. Wants to see what's going on. Spots the first refinery. Can see the amount of gas that has been mined. We'll see that the second refinery has never been taken. Critically, he sees the STEM research, and this is a pretty big indicator, Kev, a huge tell. I think what we're going to see out of DeMusliM is a bit of a Hellion Marine push, maybe even with a medevac or two. But he's going to be playing some kind of aggressive mid-game as he tries to get this economy going. Red took a ridiculously quick turret base this time, Ben, and DeMusliM didn't even have time for the Hellions to get in position and intercept that drone. Red kind of playing like a ZVP style over here, which is just mad. And DeMuslim's reaction is going to be to throw down a third of his own, and which is really cool. Scouted it immediately. Top-notch scouting by Red. Also lessens the likelihood, I guess, a little bit of a powerful mid-game push from DeMusliM. He could still try to do some sort of aggression with Stim and with Hellions, but off just one Rax, I guess it's getting less and less likely, especially with a new command center going on. It's going to be a crazy macro game once more. It's bold to see Terrans play this macro style against Zergs like Red. If I was a Terran, I'd be so afraid. I'd be figuring out. DeMuslim's going to run past here, Kev. He's going to get the Hellions up into the main base of Red. Pulling a lot of drones. Not sure if that's the right call. Ends up losing quite a few of them straight away. DeMusliM drives up to the main base. And he's already killed about 8 workers, Kev, and he's going to get a handful more. Oh, the drone's squeaking past just barely. DeMuslim's going to get a couple more kills, but Zerglings are there, Queens are there. And Red will clean this up. The ultimate cost of those Hellions, of that The ultimate cost of that Hellion harass, 12 drones killed. But DeMusliM committed a lot of Hellions. That was 6, 8 Hellions, Kev.
Yeah, I think 6 Hellions. Kind of funny. 600
yeah, it was
minerals
6
for
Hellions,
600 minerals. And I mean,
it's hard to say that was worth it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the same thing. Yes, he's gonna delay the units of Red a little bit. Yes, he slowed down the economy of Red a little bit. But Red, being on 3 hatches oh so quick, is able to pump out a ton of drones immediately. And DeMusliM did just give up his map control temporarily. The only thing you can say is that if DeMusliM was worried about keeping this orbital alive, because Red, unlike on Daybreak, where it took Red a very long time to scout it, Red scouted the third base immediately this time. Yeah. So maybe that's why DeMusliM wants to force Red to remake those drones rather than make units earlier on.
The thing that bothers me though is that now Red's creep spread is going to be so hard to prevent. Yeah, we see 2 more Hellions have come out.
Isn't it always?
Yeah,
these days?
That's true, man. It is true, but
I mean, it's just not the same anymore. The old Hellions to control creep, they don't exist anymore. The queens are just too good.
They are doing a good job of zoning out these 2 Hellions as the creep continues to push forward. And Rhett getting the Baneling Nest, getting that lair. He's just moving into a mid game like we saw on Daybreak. I think it's just going to be more Zergling, Baneling, Muta on Antigua.
2 more Rexes going up in the main base. So DeMusliM is indeed, man, most likely going to transition once more into a ton of bio units. DeMusliM has to win this game to make it to the finals in Toronto.
These last Hellions, and for what, Kev? Just to see the drone count at the third base. That's a pretty unfortunate loss there for DeMusliM. He's playing Marine Marauder behind this. I gotta say, I'm not as inspired by DeMuslim's play here on Antigua as I was on previous maps. He is getting a very fast 4th command center even, so maybe that can, maybe that can bear fruit. We'll see. Rhett continuing to spread creep, continue to add to that drone count. And look at this. There's a bit of a variation. Infestation pit going down. So it's going to be Infester, Baneling, Zergling, which is cool. It's good. And we'll see if DeMuslim's able to deal with it.
Well, one thing that definitely hasn't been the problem in this series so far from DeMusliM has been his spreading. I think his micro has been excellent throughout the entire series. Even when he found himself in tough positions, he was still able to try to make the best out of certain situations, working with the straps he was giving. And those straps were not very good, man. Those were like wooden straps on the Atlantic. But
what?
Yeah, well, that would be a troublesome situation, no?
I don't even know what to say. I think you killed our producer.
I didn't do anything.
If you guys heard any banging, it was our producer falling behind the stage. You okay there, boss?
Yep.
Nice Overlord farm over here from Red in the left top side of this map.
Look at the hive timing, Kev. 12-minute hive. This is a build we've seen out of Red in the past. It's very...
Ooh, look at the DeMusliM, Ben. He's actually going to try to take this 4th base over here in the middle of the map, despite creep already covering the Zelnaga watchtower. If he's immediately he's forced to lift
up.
If
that tumor marches forward any bit more, it's going to be really hard for him to keep this base. And in fact, Red can even burrow Zerglings here.
DeMusliM has 18 Marines, 8 Marauders, 1 Medevac right now. He just has absolutely no idea what Red has. If we take a look at Red, Red has 71 Zerglings, and that's probably too much already to deal with. And DeMusliM is forced to evacuate.
Can't take that base. He could try to take bottom left. I think that might even be a better expansion to move to. At the same time, you really want to control the center on
exactly.
Antigua.
I can't blame him for trying. 1-0 upgrade so far for Red. 2-1 is on the way, and 1-1 is almost ready. DeMusliM moves out right now. Army Supply has to actually is favoring Red just slightly. 5 Infestors are on the way as well. We have 1 Infestor already on the map. DeMusliM is going to try to do something right now, but this middle, he takes out 1 Queen straight away and a couple of Tumors. Red is going for a really big run by.
Yeah, a lot of Zerglings going to make their way up into the third base of DeMusliM. DeMuslim's got units pretty close by, though, so while he's going to lose a handful of SCVs.
Nice bunker over here for DeMusliM
really
as well.
Great bunker placement. That's something that he has done so well. I hope Terran players are taking note. These kinds of placements really keep you safe.
But the Red is doing this so well, Ben. He has still had enough units, so he forces DeMusliM to evacuate once more this middle. And right now he's able to drop a little bit of creep, and he's also dropping a couple of burrowed Zerglings below that command center. Greatest Spire is now on the way as well. Adrenal Glands being upgraded. Red.
Yeah, just controlling the map, man. Creep is so valuable for so many reasons. It's a scouting tool. It's a map control tool. It blocks expansions. You can use it aggressively. And Red just he really looks like he's grabbing onto this game right now, Kev. He's ahead, and I don't really see him falling behind anytime soon. Not with that Greater Spire finishing up and DeMusliM with no real apparent answer to the Brood
Well,
Lord.
DeMusliM has maybe a small window to hit. We see a couple of fungals going down. So Red still has a lot of circlings, but DeMusliM is pretty well spread out.
Infestor's getting kind of picked apart there. Red loses all but one of his Infestors, and
DeMusliM, if he wants to, he's also dropping over here on the north side of the map. Sorry guys, temporarily missed that. And he's going to be able to take out this hatchery. A lot of Zerglings are streaming in, and the Corruptor is helping in as well. DeMusliM knows that Red is gearing up for that Broodlord switch.
yeah, that's a big deal, seeing that Corruptor.
Is he going to try to do something about it?
Should prompt some Viking production, and that's exactly what's going to happen. A new starport going down.
Look at Red, just making run-bys all the time. Fantastic play by Red. He knows he needs a little bit more time. If DeMusliM would literally walk to Red's natural right now, it would be a little bit scary. Look at the positioning of this Greatest Spire, by the way. That's nuts.
Wow, why would you ever build your Greater Spire there? That is not smart. I mean, I can understand hiding it, but that was not a good choice. Red's getting dropped here in the back of his third base. Good position by DeMusliM, but there are plenty of Zerglings there. Lots of Broodlords morphing for Red, and he's just dumping all of his gas into this Broodlord tech. DeMuslim's going to max out before Red, Kev.
4 Vikings at a time in production now as well. So far, he doesn't.
More drones.
He doesn't have a single Viking yet on the map, though, and that's something that kind of worries me.
One thing he did that was really good, though, is he killed most of Red's Infestors. Red's got just 3 Infestors, and he can't afford to replace them right now. He's using all his gas on Corruptors and Broodlords. So if DeMusliM can take a favorable fight somewhere, I mean, he's maxed out. He's got good upgrades. He's at 2-2. Red's also at 2-2.
3-2 is on the way.
2-1 even. 1+1 armor, +2 melee for Red. So we'll
3-2 almost. Second armor
throwing
upgrades.
down a lot of command centers.
It's almost ready.
Look at the middle of the map. After we see these Lings clean up this little hit squad, down below that, down a little bit more, down a little bit more, boom. DeMusliM says, got command centers?
Red just keeps trying to make something happen with all these Zerglings. We'll be able to surround a couple of the bio units here from DeMusliM, but DeMusliM well aware of what's going on and will react in time. As you said, 3 more command centers going up right now for DeMusliM. We have 6 Vikings on the map. I'm not sure.
6 Vikings, 7 Broodlords, 6 Corruptors. I mean,
5 more Corruptors on the way as well for Red.
Depends a lot on how they fight, but
DeMusliM is going to try to make something happen right now. The Broodlords are far away out of position. Maybe they're going to trace a bait. Maybe DeMusliM might lose the middle of the map. You know, DeMusliM doesn't want to lose the middle of the map.
I think DeMuslim's doing this pretty well, Kev. Like, I mean,
if you fight in the outskirts, it makes it tough for the Broodlords.
It's hard to say it's going to go one way or another, but if DeMusliM picks off this base, that's Red's, that's his 7th and 8th gas, and those are necessary to sustain Broodlord production. Red is going to push into the center here, but he's going to meet with a little bit of resistance in this planetary and these turrets.
This is a super scary army, though. Red has a lot of Zerglings over here as well. We don't have that many Infestors. There are only 4 Infestors, 2 more on the way right now. DeMusliM has 8 Vikings against 11 Corruptors.
We'll see. DeMuslim's army is here. Both players are completely maxed out. Vikings going to get a couple of quick volleys off, and immediately one Broodlord falls. The Corruptors are also here, though, and they're going to...
Fungal lands on a couple of these Vikings as well.
And here we go. DeMuslim's just going to go for it. Stims forward. Fungals are nowhere to be seen. There's no Fungal going down at all. And Red is trying to deal with this with just his Zerglings, but that's not the best engagement I've ever seen. And DeMusliM looks like he's trading very effectively here with Red. Finally some Fungals going down, but the Medevacs are going to heal right through it, and the Marines pushing once more through the center of the map. Broodlord's taking heavy damage. Vikings are being repaired by the SCVs, and Red's going to lose every Broodlord, Kevin. And with this, he can't replace... Can he replace his army? He's got a lot of money.
He's got a lot of money, but what is he going to do with it? He lost that 4th base point, and he's throwing out another base as well. Fantastic engagement once more by DeMusliM. He kept his 4th base alive, this oh so crucial 4th base, which is now going to allow him to take eventually a 5th base as well. Red once more is going to try to make something happen with a small run-by, but DeMusliM has been dealing with these kind of run-bys pretty well so far throughout the entire game, and that's going to be the case once more. DeMusliM immediately making way to the north side of this map. Will DeMusliM be able to win this 4th game and force a 5th?
Looking better and better for him with every passing moment. Red's at 120 supply against a maxed out DeMusliM. DeMusliM is denying expansions, and he is successfully securing and defending his own, and that is such a big deal. Look at this great control in the middle of the map, stimming these Marines, running to his planetary.
God, both these guys playing so well.
Just very high level StarCraft. Red trying to stick around, buy himself time to replace that very expensive Broodlord, Corruptor, Infestor army.
But right now, DeMusliM is so rich. He hasn't been this rich throughout the entire game. He's going to make Gratorp happy as well, as he's getting the Terran building armor. Might help
High-sec
out.
auto tracking.
He's gonna get everything, man.
Yeah, he's just
Plus
just
2 on the
rounding it all off,
Vikings.
man. He's gonna make
That's
his
a pretty
planetaries
important
even
one.
better. He's got tons of orbitals, so now he can start throwing away SCVs if he wants.
Yeah, most importantly, he already has 10 Vikings this time. Well, he has a lot of manifex as well to deal with those Fungols. And this just looks fantastic for the Muslim. 129 army supply against only 68 for Red.
If Red had more money, I would think a switch into Ultralisk Baneling might be worth it, but I don't think that he can afford it. He's only got the 3 bases, really. I mean, he's just now... Oh, that's kind of funny looking.
Yes. That's
This
the
is
Muslim,
a
right?
Hatchet Center.
SCVs are under attack.
The Muslim is gonna scan it right now.
Hatchet Toll Command.
Oh. Imagine if you could like inject your orbital and get 5 mules.
Wow.
That'd be pretty good.
Well, you kind of can, just be bad at macro.
The Muslim Red is going to send a lot of Zerglings over here, trying to keep this hatch alive. The hatch is taking a lot of damage. It's going to be tough with these 3 Marauders. If he just focuses the hatch, he should be able to get
Lings
it.
are here. They're going to surround. The hatch will fall, though. Red does have a drone here. At the same time, DeMusliM's going to be pushing through the center of the map. Look at this Bioforce. Look at this concave. Look at the spread of units by DeMusliM. And look at him micro, spreading everything out so well. Broodlords, there's a lot of them there, and the Fungals are much better this time, but the Viking count is so high. 14 Vikings. They're going to make short work of this Air Force of Ret. He just cannot do anything about it. He's trying to get some Corruptors out, but by the time they hit the field, the Broods are all going to be dead. And the bio is still going to be alive. DeMusliM, 175 supply, and he's still pushing forward, Kev. He's going to get up into the 3rd base of Ret. Look at this. I spy a greater spire. And that's going to go down. That means no more Broodlords, and that probably means, yes, it does mean GG. Ret taps out. DeMusliM ties up the series, and for the 4th time tonight, we've had a player go from being down 0-2 to being tied 2-2, and every time it's happened, the guy that was behind has won.
That's not true. Puma won.
He was down 0-2.
No, Puma was up 2-0.
Damn it.
But you were almost there, Ben. You are right. We've had a fantastic series so far. If this is any indication, Ben, for the offline finals in Toronto, I'm happy. I'm sad that we don't have these games in the offline finals in Toronto, because it would have been madness. I think everybody would have gone nuts. Fantastic games. Game 5, Red versus DeMusliM, is going to be played on Ohana, which also means family. So guys, stick around. We'll be right back with game number 5 between Red and DeMusliM.